Welcome back, Western Civ. Giving a big shout out to all you guys today, so I appreciate you doing so well. Today we're going to finish up talking about early Greece, particularly the Mycenaeans, and we're going to get into the Dorians and the Dark Ages and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get started so I don't take up too much of your evening. So, of course, we stopped here today. Mycenaeans created a huge stronghold called Mycenae. Only way in and out was called the Lion's Gate. Remember? So the Lion's Gate is right here, and we talked about how the large walls and the very dominant structure kind of denotes the fact that it's the Mycenaeans were a very military dominant people. So this is what we believe Mycenae looked like at its height. Now, looking at it, we can tell by just looking compared to these buildings that they took a lot of architectural influence from the Minoans. And of course, that's again, what is that whole process called? Good job, Olivia. Cultural diffusion. So let's keep going though. Now, I don't know what that was for. Now, here we go. Trojan War, right? Homer's Iliad. So, I misspelled Iliad. There's supposed to be two L's in that. Now, the Mycenaeans went to war with Troy because Troy was controlling a trade route and unfairly taxing ships going from southern Russia to Greece. The Mycenaeans would actually win by burning down the city of Troy after breaking through its walls. The very famous Mycenaean warrior, anybody know what his name was? According to the movie, anyway. Pop culture. Achilles, right? The way the Iliad goes is that Achilles was a warrior for the Mycenaean people. So Achilles, of course, the story goes for Achilles that his mother dipped him in the river Styx, which is the river of the undead, or the river of the dead that goes to Hades' underworld. Dipped him in the river Styx to keep him immortal and, indestructible. But since she was holding him by his ankle, the only thing that didn't get dipped in the water was his left heel, I think it was. So, very, very cool story. But, so, the Iliad, about 500 years later, after the Mycenaeans went to war with Troy, Greek poet Homer told the story of the Trojan War, but it didn't happen exactly the way that he said it did. So, yeah, he exaggerated a lot of stuff, and as we talked about in class the other day, according to some of our researchers like Annie, she told us that Homer may never even existed at all. He might have just been something conjured up by other people. This is why we know that written records are more accurate than what? Oral records. Good job. So, this also probably never happened. We believe that the Trojan horse was just something made up for literary value. Now, there is a very old tablet that has the depiction of what looks like a horse and some people on it, but again, we don't really necessarily know if the horse was ever real or not because there's no evidence of it. Plus, there's not really a lot of evidence of Troy left anymore because, as you can see right here, the Mycenaeans burnt it down. So, now, the Mycenaeans are going to be driven out of their home by this special group of people called the Dorians, right? The Dorians are going to actually begin to call themselves hnrs, which in English means Greek. So the very first real Greeks were these Dorians, right? So the Dorians destroyed the Mycenaeans, which is going to usher in the Greek Dark Ages. Now, this began a time of wandering and killing. Trade stopped, many skills were forgotten, including how to read, write, fresco painting, working with ivory and gold, things like that was forgot for a long time because these Dorians destroyed the Mycenaeans and kind of sent us backwards for a little while. Now, the only record we have of the Dark Ages are the blind poet Homer's stories. He wrote the Iliad and is the father of modern day literature, modern Western literature. Where did Eastern literature start? I see you over there, Sam. Good job. The Epic of Gilgamesh, right? So let's continue, though, and here we go again. The people had to create a new civilization on their own, beginning with herding and farming. Sparta and Athens are going to rise out of those ashes and start the archaic period of Greece, the one we know most about the day. So tomorrow, we're going to go ahead and get started with the archaic period in Greece, and we're going to keep rolling from there. So I look forward to seeing y'all's flip notes tomorrow. I'll be checking them in class. Have a great evening.